vehicle, I'm not reducing the bond amounts.
Understood. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Natasha Russell?
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Russell. You've been charged with grand theft auto on a previous, was this a CAPUS? Or just a warrant? So yeah, it was just a warrant for grand theft auto. So a judge has previously found probable cause, I'll stay the bond and provisionally appoint the public defender.
Thank you, Judge.
I have already a Grand Theft Auto charge, and then they recharged me again. I've already been here a month, and I also have Azalea as my public defender. If I could keep her on this case, I guess.
I'll explain to her, Your Honor. It's the public defender. I'll figure that
Okay,
out.
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vicker. Do I have somebody here, a witness in the Santiago case? Was it?
That's it?
Who did we put to the end? Borello. Is there anybody in here for Borello?
Judge, it was Barillo.
Yeah, we've got some alleged victims in here. I'm just finding out there's somebody here on the case. No? Okay, nobody's here. Did you want to address her now, Mr. Vicker?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, from pre-trial release, we did actually speak with the victim directly. And as an officer of court, he's requesting contact and he wants her to come home.
All right, based on the representations of PTR, I'm gonna set bond. Does she qualify for direct PTR on this?
No, Judge, because it's a 907.
Okay, I'll set bond in the amount of $500, and I'm gonna require no hostile contact with the alleged victim.
Thank you, Judge.
All right,
Thank you.
all right, Maximo,
He's in medical segregation, Your Honor. We asked for a reset.
all right, we'll reset it when available. So he's got two of them. And what about Christina Lee Rames?
Your Honor, she's detoxing and refused to come. We'd asked for a reset.
All right, we'll reset it. Medically able. And then we have Luis Santiago. Oh, we need to.
Yes, Judge.
Is it this one?
Hello, Cisco Unity Connection Messaging System.
Adjudication.
From a touch-tone telephone, you may dial an extension at any time. For a directory...
Oh, I ended everybody's call. Oops. Sorry about that. I hit end call and it ended everything. All right, we don't have the interpreter just yet, so we're gonna have to wait another minute for that.
Okay, Judge.
I'm gonna go ahead and start the Orange County cases, and as soon as the interpreter is available, we'll call Mr. Santiago's case.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, we'll start with Mr. Timmons. No, I didn't hang up since.
Yeah.
All right, Osceola, I'm gonna end the call with you, and as soon as I have the interpreter, I'll call you back.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Your Honor, did we address Raymond Hawkins?
I don't have that one.
Okay.
Yes, the bonds were all paid.
Oh, never mind. I guess we did.
Thank you.
All right, please state your name, sir.
Timmons.
All right, Mr. Timmons. You've been charged with carrying a concealed firearm and tampering with physical evidence. Did you fill out yeah. So, you do qualify for the public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you? All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. And counsel, you had a challenge?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm just going to do challenges actually to counts 1 and 2 as well. For the carrying a concealed firearm, there's nothing addressing whether or not he even had a carrying a concealed license. It was just a video of him. So I think there's an issue with that as well. But as to count 2, the tampering with evidence, there's not, he set the bag down. There's nothing, that's not really concealing. I don't think there's probable cause for that one at all.
State?
All right, we ask that you follow the findings of the judge who issued the warrant and find probable cause as to both. I do not have the actual warrant in front of me, Your Honor. I was not provided it, so I need a minute to find it.
Just for the record, probable cause is something that needs to be addressed at every stage in the proceeding, so.
All right, well, an element of proving the charge of carrying a concealed firearm would be whether or not he had a license. But I believe that based on the narrative in the warrant, that there is sufficient probable cause for carrying a concealed weapon. The tampering with evidence, though, it just states that he removed the bag and placed it on the ground when he arrived at the stairwell for the victim screaming. So I don't know, I don't find the probable cause for a tampering with physical evidence. In the narrative, it says that he removed and discarded the firearm in a manner as to conceal its availability in the criminal investigation. So that's what the officer is basing probable cause to charge with tampering with physical evidence. But on the narrative, as what was described in the video, I don't think it has any facts related to that. So, state, or would you want 24 hours to come up with the PC on the tampering with physical evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you want to talk to your client for a minute? Or,
Yes, Your Honor. Ready to proceed, Your Honor.
all right, so you wanted me to just wait the 24 hours for them to come up with the PC on that one?
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll give the state 24 hours to come up with additional facts related to the tampering with physical evidence charge. And I do find probable cause on the concealed firearm, and I would stay that bond amount of $2,500, but we'll reset the case for tomorrow for the PC on the second charge. No, I'm not, I find no PC, so I'm gonna give the state the 24 hours. But I'm finding PC on the other, but he can't get out because they still have 24 hours to prove the PC on the other one.
So we're setting the bond at none, because if we don't, they're gonna allow.
Okay, so I have to set it at none?
I would say, okay, Your Honor, if I could speak with him then.
Yeah,
'Cause otherwise, we get to set a bond account too. Is that what we're saying?
right.
Okay.
Council, what we can say is just reset if not bonded.
That works. I think that probably works best,
Right.
Judge.
So I'll stay the $2,500 bond on carrying a concealed firearm. I find no probable cause on the tampering with physical evidence. I'm giving the state 24 hours and will reset if not bonded.
And what's bond for count two, Judge? I'm sorry.
1,000. All right, thank you. Counselor, what case are you here on?
Good morning, Your Honor. Blair Jackson on behalf of Lawrence Guness.
What's the defendant's last name?
Gunesa. If it's okay with the court, I'd just like a couple of minutes to talk to him. I don't know if you have enough business to,
Oh, we got plenty of business.
okay, all right. So I got here maybe a little late, early, or whatever, but if you don't mind, just a few
No,
minutes.
I don't mind.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Next we'll call Tina Mitchell. And somebody just let me, make sure, you let me know when we have the interpreter so I can go back to Osceola.
She's behavioral, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll reset when available? Is that? No, what?
It's up to the.
Oh, Mr. Mitchell? Oh, Mr. Mitchell. What's the name? Hello, Defender, what do you want to do on Tina Mitchell?
What page are you on, Judge? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
This is the part of the move up docket. You should have got a sheet like this, with move ups on it.
Okay.
That case is a felony.
Okay. Can we just set bond, Judge? Or reset it?
Just reset it for tomorrow? Okay. All right, Danielle McMillan. All right, Ms. McMillan, I see that you've completed the application for the public defender and you do qualify. I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. You've been charged with prostitution. Did you want to resolve the case, eh?
We can, Your Honor. Is there an offer from the court?
Yeah, this isn't the one with the $5,000 fine, right? Do you know?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's 5, isn't it? Subsection 5. I just want to make sure it's not that charge. I don't want to plea into that one. Is it a felony? It's not a misdemeanor?
I see it as a felony on here, but.
Oh, never mind. I can't resolve it then.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought this was a misdemeanor.
It is.
Okay, never mind. Sorry, Ms. McMillan. All right, so you've been charged with prostitution. There is probable cause, and I'll stay the bond at 1,000 unless PTR, did she?
They already gave me. Can I say something real quick before you do it?
Hold on just a minute. Talk to your attorney first.
Can I talk to you real quick?
No.
They gave me.
Keep your voice down.
A bond. They told me when I got to court, they found drugs on me. And
Keep your voice down.
I just got out of the hospital. I am 92. That's what they told me. They told me that I had a legit bond. My bond was only
have a bond.
1,000.
It's gonna be.
It was. They gave me a misdemeanor and told me I would have a misdemeanor. They had no drugs on me at all. trying to talk to you, but it's gonna be okay. I got raped, and I went into that stuff and tried to kill.
It's $1,000 a PTR, Your Honor.
And I was not a
Doesn't qualify for PCR.
But can I ask you a question? Do I have 10% on that?
Yeah, you can do 10%.
Okay, well, when I came in, something happened, right? I got banged up. The dude said, don't lock her up.
What's her charge? Let me make sure. Because we deal with those all the time.
Yeah, and they told me that I would be released. See? You got the room fucked up in your mind, Judge Whitehead. I don't care no more. You're a fucked up ass bitch. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. I'm gonna fuck up your ass in court,
Oh, is it the third offense? Oh, third, okay, that's why. I think some mental health treatment. All right, are you, Miss Laura Malia? Malia? All right, ma'am, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You've been charged with trespass on property after warning. Did you want to resolve the case today?
Yes, I do today.
All right, how much time, sir? All right, you've had 2 days. You want to do credit for time served, withhold, court costs?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am. Do you have a plea agreement form?
Can I have the case number, Your Honor?
And I'll remove the appointment of the PD, so that way she doesn't also have the $50.
That's fine, Judge, and I'll do this as a friend of the court.
Okay, thank you.
What's the case number?
Oh, State, did you want to be heard?
Yeah, can we add the no return to scene?
Okay. The case number is 2021 MM 3828AO. Oh, she's still yelling.
Steal that from you.
Okay,
May I approach the plea form, Your Honor?
you may. Thank you. All right, ma'am, I'm holding up a plea agreement form. Did you go over this with the Office of the Public Defender as a friend of the court?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you have any questions about it?
No.
Is that your signature?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence today of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your judgment?
No.
Is anybody forcing you to enter into this plea agreement?
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, entering into this plea agreement will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right, on the charge of trespass on property after warning, did you want to plead no contest?
Yes.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'm going to withhold adjudication. I'm going to give you credit for time served of 2 days. I'm going to require that you not return to the scene, the 6359 West Colonial Drive. And I'm going to assess court costs and cost of prosecution. I'll give you 1 year to pay.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, lawyer.
No problem. Good luck to you.
Be careful of the baby.
Okay, bye. I'm going to go back to Osceola County. I think we have the interpreter. All right, Mr. Vickers, I'm going to try the interpreter again.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter. I have not been sworn this morning, Your Honor.
All right. Madam Clerk, if you please swear him in. Mr. Interpreter, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Your Honor. I'm not hearing anyone else.
Do you
Can you hear
solemnly
me?
swear to translate from English to Spanish, from Spanish to English to the best of your ability?
I do, once again, for the record, Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter.
Thank you. All right, Luis Santiago.
Here.
All right, Mr. Santiago, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you.
Señor Santiago, voy a asignar las oficinas al defensor público para que lo represente.
Ok, gracias.
You've been
Okay, thank you.
You've been charged with trespass of an occupied structure.
Usted lo acusan de presencia ilegal en una vivienda ocupada o estructura ocupada.
En Walmart. Y Walmart.
¿En Walmart?
Yes, sir.
Sí, señor.
All right,
Yo,
PTR, does he qualify for PTR or?
No,
El
Judge.
Departamento de Libertad Prejuicial, él reúne requisitos para la libertad prejuicial.
Judge, he's got two open cases, one in Osceola County and one in Polk, both for violation of injunction, which they're noticed to appear, so.
Su señoría, él tiene dos casos pendientes, uno en el condado de Osceola, uno en el condado de Polk, por incumplimiento de orden de alejamiento y existen órdenes de comparecencia pendiente.
All right, Mr. Vicker, I find probable cause and I'll stay the bond.
El señor Vicker determinó que motivo fundado se quedará tal como está la fianza.
All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias, caballero.
All right, this concludes the Osceola. I don't know if I can hang up on you without hanging up on everybody. Oh, okay, I'm gonna end the call, but interpreter is gonna hang up on you and I'll call you back.
Yes, Your Honor, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Are we gonna do the interpreter cases now?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is the interpreter once again for the record, Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll take Luis Rodriguez Ayala.
Is that Ayala, Your Honor? Ayala?
It is.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I know we're at IAs, but sometimes I just ask, we wouldn't happen to have a case number yet.
We do. 2021 CF 6621.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Your Honor.
All right, is there anybody here on that case in for the victims? No, okay. All right, the defendant has on the headset. If you can please try to make contact.
Yes, Your Honor. The interpreter is able to confirm that the defendant can hear through the headsets.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Rodriguez, you've been charged with false imprisonment, dating violence, battery, domestic violence by strangulation, and battery dating violence. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. The alleged victim is not present today. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $2,500 on count 1 and $500 each on count 2 and count 3. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the alleged victim. I'm going to require that you not return to the scene. And I have 2 addresses. I have 1213 Tino Court and 1215 Tino Court. So I'm going to require that you not return to
Right now, I
item-
have to,
I didn't hear what you said, interpreter.
Your Honor, the interpreter will repeat. The defendant said, right now, I have to,
Oh, okay. I'm going to require that you possess no, oh, you want to tell me something? He qualifies for PTR? All right, let me look at the PTR.
okay.
All right, so, I'll set those bonds or, PTR are the bonds.
Okay.
It's 2,500, 5 and 5. And again, no contact with the victim, no return to those two addresses, no weapons, firearms. What are the other conditions usually?
I have a question for Your Honor.
Ask, you're represented by an attorney, and you can ask a question, but sometimes in the questions, you may incriminate yourself or admit to certain elements of the offense. So you may want to speak to your attorney before you ask the court anything.
And I would just say,
Yes.
if he's going to say a question, not to talk about any of the facts of the case or anything like that.
Okay.
All right, did you still want to ask a question, Mr. Rodriguez?
Excuse me?
Did you have a question? Did you, after hearing all of those warnings and what the public defender just told you, do you still want to ask me a question?
Sí, yo necesito una orden para sacar mis pertenencias que tengo allí.
Yes, I need an order to be able to get my belongings that are there.
All right, you can return, I'll allow you to return one time to the residence with law enforcement officers to get your personal belongings. And that is your clothing, your toothbrush, your hair care products. It's not the washing machine, the dryer, the couch. It's your personal belongings. You can return one time in the presence of law enforcement officers to get your belongings. All right, thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right, and the next case we have is Luis Nieves.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you happen to have a case number for this defendant, Your Honor?
I do. It's a 2015 CF 2011.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And this is a violation of probation for failure to report. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. And do these, do I set a bond on these or it remains no bond?
They go to in-jail arraignment, which is individual signature.
Okay, all right, so, we'll continue this at no bond and he'll have to go to the in-jail arraignment.
He's also out on bond, Judge.
Well, when he goes to arraignments, will they address everything?
No.
No, so I need to, all right, I'm going to revoke the bond in 2021 CF 5576 AO. All right. All right, thank you, sir. You can remove them.
They're just setting the bond at none, right?
Yes, bonds at none. Did we have any victims that require a Spanish interpreter?
Your Honor, would you like the interpreter to make an announcement?
Yes, please, sir.
Su atención, por favor, si hay alguien en el público que necesite la ayuda del intérprete, que sea víctima de un delito, por favor, anúnciese en este momento, levante la mano.
I see her shaking her head, Judge.
Yeah, no, Your Honor.
Oh, somebody, no, okay. Nobody has indicated that they need the services of the Spanish interpreter. So I think that was it for this morning, and I thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye.
I'm still on hold for the Creole. What's the next case?
The private attorney. All right, we're gonna take, Devondra Lawrence.
Your Honor, is that a felony?
It is. Ganesh? Lawrence Devondra Ganesh?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, please enter your appearance for the record.
Blair Jackson on behalf of Lawrence Ganesh.
All right, your client was issued a citation for driving while license suspended in revocation status. It's the third or subsequent conviction. I'll stay the bond.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Is this Lawrence Ganesh?
Yeah, Devondra, we have, what?
Okay, he has, two, bad, out on bond.
Where's
We
his
didn't
sheet?
receive that paperwork.
Is that in here?
You have to put it on the record.
She said you didn't have it. I don't.
No, we don't have the out on bond form.
Okay, okay.
So I need the case number proof.
Okay, it is, case number 2019 CL 010302 AO, sexual battery. And you have 2020 CT 007421 AO DUI.
No, cessation proof.
Are you finding them, or
We won't have,
they won't be in here?
no.
Okay, so he's already got the DUI is still pending?
It's a 2020 case for the
Wait.
DUI.
It says he's out on bond on that one?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna revoke the bond on the DUI, because this is a Dwillis while on a DUI. So I'm gonna revoke the bond on that case, on the DUI case. And I'm not gonna revoke the bond on the other non-driving case. You said it was, yeah, I'm not gonna, I won't, yeah, I'm not gonna revoke that bond.
Okay, so you're revoking the CT case.
Yeah,
And there's no argument that could persuade the court otherwise.
you can try.
Okay, all right. It's my understanding from Mr. Ganesh that this involved a situation where he thought his license had been cleared up with regard to insurance, and he had checked with DMV, felt like everything was okay, and then apparently this had something to do with a points issue. Our office is representing him on the DUI and on his license issues, and we weren't aware of that particular situation as well. So I would ask that under the circumstances, it wasn't that he was driving on a DUI suspension or anything of that nature, so I would ask the court to take that into consideration. And perhaps if the court feels that the bond needs to be raised, but that a reasonable bond be imposed as opposed to a revocation of the bond.
Let me see if I can try to find the CT case. Do you have the CT case number?
00742180.
Jay, do you have a position?
Your Honor, I would leave it to your discretion.
Now, I'm gonna revoke the bond on the DUI, and you can check, you can always go back to Judge Allen and get that reversed.
Okay. All right, that's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna transfer the Creole interpreter over.
All right, interpreter, if you'll please enter your appearance for the record.
Hello, this is Anid, Haitian Creole interpreter, ID HCEP.
Do you solemnly swear to translate from Creole to English, from English to Creole to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right, and sir, please state your name.
Allô, bonjour, c'est Enid, m'a interprété pour. T'as demandé pour citer non.
Kenchel Sineak.
Cancel Sinea.
All right, Mr. Sinea, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
OK, Monsieur Sineak, li ba ou un avocat l'État.
Mille
Représentez où?
Mille merci.
1,000. 1,000, thank you.
Is there a victim here on this case?
Il m'a dit est-ce que victime nan là?
Non.
All right, and sir, you've been charged with false imprisonment and battery, domestic violence?
Yo fait connaître, yo prend ou et yo chargé ou pour emprisonner ou te emprisonner un moun ou prend yo pa quitter yo aller et puis ou bat moun nan.
PTR, I don't have his sheet. Did he qualify?
Non.
All right, sir, as there's nobody here, I'm gonna set bond in count one in the amount of $2,500 and $500 in count two.
Eh ben, OK, pour premier charge là, la baron fiança de $2,500. Pour deuxième compte, ça dû faire la bon fiança au bon pour $500.
I'm gonna
C'est
require
pas gain
that,
mot là.
I'm gonna require that you have no contact with the victim.
OK, et puis demander pour pas prendre contact à bon côté victime non, pour pas prendre part à côté lié du tout.
Slande Luis.
Félon lui.
I'm gonna require that you not return to 2530 Scan Court.
Et puis il passe l'ordre pour pas retourner pour pas retourner dans 2530 Scan Court.
You may return one time in the presence of law enforcement officers in order to retrieve your personal belongings.
Il passe droit pour tourner une seule fois avec la police pour aller prendre affaire seulement une seule fois.
That's all. We need him to sign the.
Merci.
You get one?
Thank you.
Was that the only Creole we had? Yes. All right, thank you, Madam Interpreter. That's the only Creole case we had.
All right, thanks for using the service. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
What's next? I don't have any papers. Oh, is that the, okay. All right, we'll take the case of Apollonio Espinoza. Is that you? All right, sir. You've been charged with battery, domestic violence. Did he want to be, was a public defender appointed?
No, Your Honor, not.
I don't see a PD. Did you want the public defender to represent you?
I have my own lawyer.
I can't, speak a little louder.
My own lawyer?
Okay, you have your own attorney? All right. All right, is there anybody here, is there a victim here on Mr. Espinoza's case?
No, Your Honor, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $2,500. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the alleged victim. I'm going to allow you to return to the scene 6692 Stardust Lane one time in the presence of law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. Again, no contact with the victim. No contact means no emails, text messages, phone calls. You can't go over there except for the one time in the presence of law enforcement officers.
Your Honor?
Yes.
There was mention of firearms. May we add the condition of no firearms?
Yes, I'm going to require that you not possess any weapons or firearms. If you have a firearm, you're to return it in to the Orange County Sheriff's Department. And the way you do that is you leave it in the trunk of your car. You go to the sheriff's office, you go inside, let them know that you're turning in a weapon pursuant to a court order, and they'll come out with you. Don't walk into the sheriff's office with your handgun.
They have all the guns now.
Okay, all right.
Did you address 2 cases?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, I only saw one. Hold on, is it in here? Oh. Well, there's the other case. Okay, aggravated assault with, I only saw the DV one. All right, aggravated assault with the firearm. All right, I'll set the bond in that one if $2,500 also. Same conditions as the DV case. All right, next is James Paul Mitchell. Is that you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Judge Starr already signed the affidavit for your arrest, so there is probable cause. I'll require that you have, I'm gonna set bond in the amount of yeah. It does qualify for PTR? They're all out of order.
I'll get you caught up.
All right, I'll set bond at $2,500, or you can participate in the pretrial release program. And did you want to be represented by the public defender's office?
I have legal counsel.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna require that you have no contact with the alleged victim. No contact means, you can't, see her, no phone messages, Facebook, Twitter, anything, and you don't reside together, so there's no need to return to the location. All right. Yeah, so we'll just have no contact with the victim. In addition to the, not being within the 500 feet of the victim. All right. Thank you.
That was 2,500.
Or PTO. All right, Smith, Cameron, Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we have somebody here.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Smith, did you want to be represented by the Office of the Public Defender? Speak a little louder.
No, ma'am, I'm all right.
Okay. All right, ma'am, this moment, the clerk's going to swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you please state your name for the record?
Stacy Hall.
All right, ma'am, are you in fear of Mr. Smith?
No.
Do you reside together?
No.
Has there been any previous incidents of this type with Mr. Smith?
No.
Do you want to have any contact with Mr. Smith after this?
Yeah.
Are you sure? You paused for a long time.
We have a child together, so yeah.
Okay. All right. State, do you have any questions for the witness?
Do you only want to have contact about the children?
Yes.
She said yes.
Any other questions, State?
No other further questions.
You didn't want to be represented. All right, ma'am, based on your testimony, I'm gonna set bond in the amount of $2,500. I'm gonna require that you have no hostile contact with the defendant. You may communicate with her about your, the child that you have in common, but no other, no hostile contact with her. And, anything else we need? That was it?
No.
Okay. And did he qualify for PTR? No. Okay, so that's it. The bond and $2,500 and no hostile contact. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for coming in.
Your Honor, the last case, Mitchell, did he take PTR or did we just?
I did either or, like, he could do PTR or bond out.
Okay.
It's not in English.
They changed the way like the Spanish one used to be
Okay, but I can't read that.
You want me to give your English one so you can kind of?
Oh, did you want me to sign this?
Yeah.
I thought this was the Creole one that you brought it out separate.
No, this was the Spanish one.
I thought you were putting it over there for my use, but I can't read that.
No.
Okay. All right, ma'am, please state your name.
Lisbeth Marie Alvarez Iguina.
Is there anybody here on this case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence. You do qualify for the public defender. Would you like me to appoint the office of the public defender to represent you?
Sure.
Okay, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Okay, and you were sisters. Do you reside with your, oh, can I ask that? Do they?
Yeah, you can ask me.
No, wait, talk to your
Yeah.
attorney. Do they reside, I just want to find out if they reside together. Because it's sisters.
No.
We don't, Your Honor.
No? Okay, and, did she qualify? No. All right, so, I'm gonna set bond in the amount of $2,500. I'm gonna require that you have no contact with your sister. No contact means no phone calls, text messages, using other members of the family to try to talk to her. And you can't go within 500 feet of her. And I think this was in the car, right? Yeah. Okay, and so you do not reside at the 2207 Lime Bay Drive?
I gotta wait till next Friday, if anything. The only way I can do is call my husband.
Yeah, Your Honor, could we lower the bond on that? I feel like that's a little high. She can't afford that, and I think she's still entitled to a bond she can afford. $1,000 I think would work.
Any objection, State? The facts that we're sisters, it
Yeah.
seems kind of, okay.
I remember, I read this one.
I'll lower the bond to $1,000.
Thank you.
That's yours. And sign that.
Yeah. Okay, so you get just all the whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's for him. That's for you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, next is Tyante Banks.
Yes.
All right, and you do qualify for the public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. You've been charged with battery, domestic violence. Do we have the victim here? No. All right, ma'am, I was gonna set it at 2,500. Do you want to talk to her about it?
With 2,500?
She does? All right, she qualifies for PTR. Would your client like to participate in PTR?
We do 1,000 or PTR, Judge.
Yeah, we'll do $1,000 or PTR. I'm gonna require that you have no contact, with the, victim, Mr. Antonio Hall. I'm gonna require that you not return to the scene. Do you have belongings there? Or you don't,
Just a box with my inventory in it.
I didn't hear what you said.
But my mom can pick it up for me. I don't.
All right, I'm gonna require that you not return to the scene, that you have no contact with Mr. Hall. That includes using the minor child to contact him, Facebook, any other means, or go within 500 feet of him.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Bell, Michael Bell? Mr. Bell, you qualify for a public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you? All right, you nodded your head yes. I'm going to appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. You've been charged with battery, domestic violence. Do I have anyone here on Mr. Bell's case? All right, do you and your brother still reside together?
Yes. But he has a.
Okay, no one's here, so I'll say, he doesn't qualify for PTR. This is another sibling. Is $2,500 going to be prohibitive?
We're asking for 1,000, Judge.
Okay. I'll set bond in the amount of $1,000. I'm going to require that you not have any contact with the victim. If you need to return to the location, you may do so one time in the presence of law enforcement officers in order to retrieve your personal belongings. All right, Tabrashia Hendry. Ms. Hendry, you qualify for the public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? Please state your name for the record.
Jean Max Mara Pierre.
Tell me your name again.
Jean Max Mara Pierre.
Okay, Mr. Pierre, have you ever had a incident with Ms. Hendry before like this?
No, that's a mistake.
Okay, and do you still want to have contact with her as long as it's not hostile?
Yes.
All right, and do you reside together?
Yes.
And are you in fear of Ms. Hendry?
What you say?
Are you afraid of her? Are you in fear?
Oh, I don't really understand.
You don't understand?
No.
Are you scared?
No.
If she comes home?
No.
Okay. All right, sir. She does not qualify for PTR.
And Your Honor, I guess I'd be asking for ROR with conditions for no hostile contact with the victim, since I don't believe from the affidavit he even wants to prosecute this case. He says he wants to have contact with her, so that's what we're asking.
Your Honor, even though he wants to have contact with her, there's been a previous aggravated assault, DV, with the same victim. It was dropped because the victim was not cooperating. However, we wouldn't agree to ROR.
You would?
We would not agree
Would
to
not.
ROR, given the history.
Although there was another charge, Judge, he did testify that there was no other incidents with them.
All right, I'll set bond in the amount of $500, and I'm gonna require that you have no hostile contact with Mr. Pierre.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Oh, she living with two. She living with me.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
All right. All right, please state your name.
Matthew Latone.
Mr. Latoni, you are charged with battery, domestic violence. Is there anybody here on Mr. Latoni's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Latoni, you do not qualify for the public defender.
Okay, Your Honor.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Ryan Latoni?
All right, Ms. Latoni, have you had any prior incidents with, Mr. Latoni?
No.
And, do you want to continue to have contact with him?
Yes.
And if he were to return to the home, you wouldn't be afraid of him?
Not at all.
State, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Latoni, you do qualify for pretrial release. So I'll set bond in the amount of $1,000, or you may participate in the pretrial release program. And I'm going to require that you have no hostile contact with Ms. Latoni.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, please. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Ms. Latoni.
Yes.
All right, please state your name, sir.
Antonio Lockridge.
All right, Mr. Lockridge, you've been charged with violation of a domestic injunction. Do I have anybody here on Mr. Lockridge's case?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you do qualify for a public defender. Would you like the public defender to represent you?
Yeah.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Okay, so you were charged with violation of a domestic injunction, and according to the report, it occurred immediately after they served you with the injunction. So I do find probable cause. I don't have his. Did I give you his thing? I don't have it here.
Ms. Thomas, can you print a new one? She needs an information sheet on this.
I'm not seeing it.
Yes.
Lockridge, yeah. I don't know if it's out of order. All right, he doesn't, okay. I just want to see if we qualify for PTR. Okay, it concerns me the proximity of the service of the injunction and the breaking of it. Do you want to make any he doesn't qualify for PTR. Do you want to make any argument on the bond amount? I'm thinking 5,000.
I still think he's entitled to a bond he can afford, Judge. He's not going to be able. He can't even afford $2,500. From my discussions with him, I can put some testimony onto that if the court needs, but we'd be asking for $1,000.
State, do you have any argument?
Yes, Your Honor. This victim would want no contact with him, and she has been communicated with us. And we believe that the bond that you proposed, the 5,000, is appropriate given the circumstances that he's just not following the court orders that are given to him and the safety of the victim.
All right, sir, I do believe that you're entitled to a bond that you can afford, but I also have to weigh what the defendant can afford versus protecting the public. And the facts as alleged in the arrest affidavit are just allegations. You're innocent until proven guilty. But this is what I have to go on right now as I'm setting the bond. And these facts cause me great concern in that you willfully, allegedly disobeyed an order of the court that was just served upon you. So that, I find that to be a very troubling allegation. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $1,500. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the victim. The injunction and all of the terms of the injunction remain in effect. You may not contact her through Snapchat or any other social media directly trying to use someone else. And so all of those provisions of the no contact order do remain in place. And I can't stress upon you what no contact means. And that means no contact, sir. And so we'll leave it at that. All right, please step forward and state your name.
Anthony Maxfield.
Mr. Maxfield, you qualify for the public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. You've been charged with battery, domestic violence. Is there anybody here on this case? No. Okay. All right, I do find probable cause. I was gonna set bond in the amount of $2,500. Do you want to make any argument on it?
We're asking for 1,500, Judge. He's not gonna be able to afford the $2,500.
All right, I'll set bond in the amount of $1,500. I'm gonna require that you have no contact with the victim, that you not return to the location except one time in the presence of law enforcement officers. But you were here on vacation? Is that, are they already checked out, or? I don't know. But anyway, if you need to return one time to get your personal belongings, you may do so in the presence of law enforcement officers, and no contact with the victim, and not to be within 500 feet of her. All right, please step forward and state your name. All right, Ms. Montez, let's see, you qualify for the PD. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Please.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. You've been charged with battery, dating violence, and we have somebody here to testify.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, to help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Adriana Gardner.
You're gonna have to speak up just a little bit, please, ma'am.
Adriana Gardner.
All right, ma'am, and have you, do you reside with the defendant?
Yes.
Okay, and have you ever had any incidents of domestic violence before?
No.
And do you want the defendant to return home?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And you would not be in fear if she were to return home?
Definitely not. No.
State, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor, no questions.
Okay. All right, and what do you want to?
Your Honor, she can't afford a $2,500 bond. We're asking for $1,000.
Okay, I will set bond in the amount of $1,000. I'm going to require that you have no hostile contact with the defendant.
The victim, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please state your name.
Lionel Neal.
Mr. Neal, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence. I don't think we have no more victims, right? Is it empty? Okay, all right, you qualify for the PD. You want me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. Again, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence. All right, I'm gonna require that you have no contact with with the victim, Miss Jones. And in here, it doesn't say that you reside together, but if you do reside together, I'll allow you the one time to return to the residence in the presence of law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. No contact means no contact. You use other people to contact her. You can't use social media, text messages, phone calls, anything of that nature, or be within 500 feet of her.
And Your
And
Honor,
I didn't set bond, right?
yeah, he can't afford the $2,500, so we're asking for $1,000.
Okay, I'll set bond in the amount of $1,000.
Take that, yes, sir.
Please step forward and state your name.
Leah
A little bit louder.
Akami.
Okay, Ms. Akami, you've been charged with battery, touch or strike, and it says you do not qualify for the public defender's office. I will find probable cause. It wasn't charged as a DV, was it?
He was dating violence, Judge.
Oh, dating violence, okay. So I'm gonna require that you have no contact with the alleged victim. If you reside together, you may return to the scene one time with law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. You do qualify for pretrial release. I'll set bond in the amount of $2,500, or you may participate in the PTR program. Did she sign the no contact order? Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, please step forward and state your name. All right, Mr. Quinones, you didn't fill out the public defender. Did you want the public defender to represent you?
Oh, ma'am.
All right, sir, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence. You do not qualify for PTR. All right, I'll find probable cause. I'm gonna set bond in the amount of $2,500. I'm gonna require that you have no contact with the alleged victim. You may return, if you reside at that location, you may return one time in the presence of law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
That was 2,500, right?
Yeah. Please step forward and state your name.
James Adrian.
All right, Mr. Adrian, you qualify for the public defender. Would you like me to appoint public defender to represent you? All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. You've been charged with grand theft, third-degree motor vehicle. All right, I do find probable cause, and I will stay the bond. He did not qualify for PTR.
Thank you.
It was 1,000.
Okay. He can't afford a monetary bond, Your Honor, so we're asking for ROR.
State?
One moment, Your Honor. No, Your Honor, with his history, I would not agree to RR.
I didn't hear what you said.
Due to his history, I would not agree to RR.
All right, well, could your client, could he afford 500?
You'd be asking for 1,000, Judge.
It was 1,000.
Okay. It was a failure to appear that this came in on, or?
No, it was, it wasn't an FTA. It was the officers, he was in the parking lot and they saw him in a stolen vehicle.
Okay, so,
And then they arrested him. The car had been reported stolen.
right,
And they saw him in it and arrested him.
okay.
It was, the bond was 1,000. I stated it was 1,000.
Oh, okay. Then I guess if we leave it set, if the court can't do ROR, then leave it set at 1,000, I guess.
Okay, I'll leave it set at 1,000. All right, Robert Alvarez.
Morning, Your Honor. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. Did you want the Office of the Public Defender to represent you?
Yes, please.
All right, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Did you want to waive reading of the,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay, and this is not, these are PBLs, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there'll be no bond.
I think he's still entitled to a bond, Judge, and unless there's proof evident presumption, great.
We don't have to do those at IA.
Right, so,
You'll have to set that for hearing. There was that appellate decision that came out that we don't do, because it's not your client's best interest to be
I
waiving-
agree with that, Judge. but-
waiving his rights. All right, please step forward and state your name.
Ricky Brockett.
All right, Mr. Brockett. This is for a violation of PTR. Did you want the public defender to represent you?
No.
Is the public defender representing you in the underlying case?
No.
No. Okay, and,
Judge, I have the public defender being previously appointed.
okay. Well, Judge Barber set the bond at 0, so I will continue to keep it at 0 until and you'll be able to get in front of her soon.
So what is that?
I think it's, when is it? Monday?
I didn't see any future dates being set yet.
It looks like you have the public defender appointed in the underlying case, and so you'll let your office know?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, please step forward and state your name.
Stanley Bernice.
All right, Mr. Bernice, you've been charged with aggravated assault with the firearm. It says here you do not qualify for a public defender. All right, it says here that you qualify for PTR, but the facts of this case are. Is that right, that he qualifies for PTR with this case? All right, well, I'll set bond in the amount of $2,500 and, or you can participate in the pretrial release program that you qualify for. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the alleged victim in this case. You may return to the residence one time in the presence of law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. If the police have not already confiscated all of your weapons, I'm going to require that you not be in the possession of any weapons or firearms. You need to turn in any firearms that you have to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. And you do that by leaving them in the trunk of your car. You go to the Sheriff's Department, have the weapons secured in the trunk of your car. Go in, let the sheriffs know that you're turning them in pursuant to a court order. Do not walk into the Sheriff's Department holding weapons. Okay. All right, sir.
That's all?
Please step forward and state your name.
E. Jerry Kadeska.
All right, Mr. Kadeska. Says you qualify for the public defender. Would you like to be represented by the public defender?
Yes.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. So you've been charged with driving while license suspended for when you've had 3 or more prior suspensions, and you're out on bond in a DUI case. So, in the driving while license suspended in that felony case, I'll stay the bond at $2,500, but I'm gonna revoke your bond in your DUI case.
So that's more.
Because of the new case.
All right, please step forward and state your name.
Nicole Daniels, Lorraine Daniels.
Your Honor, Clark Andre bonded, and Cosme Jose's behavior.
What about Victor Cagas Muniz?
We don't have that person on the docket right now.
Inmate number 21013292. Two 1013292.
All right, thank you. All right, please state your name again, ma'am.
Nicole Doreen Daniels.
All right, Ms. Daniels. You qualify for a public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes, ma'am. I just have a question.
Hold on just a second. Let me appoint the public defender to represent you.
sorry.
And please ask him first before you ask me.
Okay, what happened with Clark? Clark?
Okay.
Cosme.
Thank you.
I don't know, you said something about him. Okay. Well, I'll get him to repeat it.
We got it cleared up, Judge.
I'm sorry, what?
We got it cleared up. She doesn't have a question.
All right,
Just not-
Judge, may I ask you a question?
All right, I'll find, probable cause. She does not, she does not qualify for PTR. It was 1,000 on count one and 100 on count two.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. And, sir, can you tell me again what happened to those ones we missed? So Jose Cosme?
Yes, ma'am, he was behavior.
All right, so, we'll reset Mr. Cosme when he's able to participate. And what was the other one?
Andre Clark.
Andre
And
Clark?
he bonded.
Bonded. Thank you.
The next person, Lakeisha Dowell,
Uh-huh.
mental health.
All right, it'll be reset when she's able, Ms. Dow will be reset when she's able to participate.
Amethyst Feck, refused.
I don't have that one. Beck, you said?
Feck. Amethyst?
I'm not there yet.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
there,
sorry.
okay. I got it here.
Or
She
Fecky.
refused.
She refused.
Okay. All right, it'll be reset. Please state your name.
Isaiah Fort.
A little louder.
Isaiah Fort.
Inmate number 2101-3289. 2101-3289. Yes.
All right, sir, you've been charged with grand theft, third degree. You do qualify for a public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. All right, I'll find probable cause. Bond is set in the amount of $500. I'll stay that bond. He does not qualify for PTR. All right, please step forward and state your name.
Lorraine Gibson.
Ms. Gibson, you qualify for a public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you? You said yes?
Yes, but I
Okay, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. You can ask him your question now.
Does he qualify for PTR, Your Honor?
No, I'll lower it to 500. I'll find probable cause, set bond in the amount of 500. All right, please step forward and state your name.
Gary Golden.
All right, Mr. Golden. Okay, you've been charged with trafficking and oxycodone. So he's, okay. Um. All right, the bond is currently set at $2 million. I'm going to, 1C48. I'm gonna reduce that to 500,000,
Thank you.
and I'll find probable cause. All right, and then he's already, has he already been, those other cases were already taken care of? They're not in here? The things he was arrested for on the 3rd? Has he already had an initial appearance on that? Okay, okay.
Your Honor, we're going to appoint the public defender.
There's nothing filled out. Was a public defender appointed for your other cases?
I had my own private attorney yesterday, and I don't know where he is today.
Okay. All right, so you had your own private counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
And you want that attorney to represent you in this case as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the other case are PBLs, so he's not going anywhere anyway.
I'm just concerned if he can't retain that private counsel in this case, he's going to be unrepresented, so maybe we need to provisionally appoint us until he can.
Do you want me to provisionally appoint the public defender until you get in contact with your private attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And make sure he's gonna represent you on this charge?
Yes, ma'am. I guess I shouldn't say anything else.
Okay. All right, I'll provisionally appoint the office of the public defender, and then once you get in contact with your private counsel, you can discharge the public defender at that time. But again, the arrest warrant had $2 million. I'm reducing it to 500,000 in accordance with the bond schedule, but he's still being held on the other PBLs.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Please state your name.
Timothy Stephen Green.
I don't know. Tell me your name one more time.
Timothy Stephen with a PH Green.
Okay, Mr. Green. All right, Mr. Green. All right, you've been picked up on 2 failures to appear, and the judge in that case set a bond amount in those. So I will stay the bonds that the judge has previously set. It was $500 on the first failure to appear and $250 on the second one.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, I think we were only appointed in the carrying a concealed weapons case. I don't think we were appointed in the petty theft 2 prior.
Did you want the office of the public defender to represent you in the petty theft case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you in that case as well. Just a moment, he'll need you to sign something. Please state your name.
Michael Isom.
Mr. Isom. Okay, Mr. Isom. What do we got here? Got a warrant for possession of a firearm by convicted felon. based on an arrest warrant. You do qualify for a public defender, so I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. And let's see here. The bond was set in the, oh, that's a, I don't understand this. Is this out of state or is this, it says out of state warrant arrest, book is fugitive, no bond. But no, this is here, right? This is the Orange County one? I'm confused.
Pre-trial release, what do you have for this defendant?
So I've got, it looks like it was an arrest warrant, but I don't understand the recommitment to custody. What's this about?
That, the paperwork was prepared and sent up by inmate records, so I have to verify with pre-trial release. What's going on with this case, I'm not sure.
I think that the bonding company doesn't want to be on the bond anymore. That's why he had to come back.
Do I still have a bond for that charge?
Yeah, it looks like the bond was endorsed.
So they got off of it?
Yeah, I think so.
Ms. Thomas, what do you have on this defendant?
What? Isom, Mr. Isom.
Yes, 3 cases. We only have one.
I only have one.
I have two
Oh,
possessions.
hold on,
Look at
Mr.
that,
Isom.
David, 'cause I only have one.
All
We
I,
have all 3 cases being addressed today? Because we only had one, and it's 2020 CF 14898. Okay.
that's what that means, right? The bonding company's trying to get off the bond. Yeah. All right, sir. So, yeah, so the bonding company has endorsed the bond. So I'll stay the bond at $5,000, but it says here that you have a hearing scheduled on June 9th, 2021. So that must be in the division where your case is assigned. Is that what you have?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so it can be, if you're unable to secure another bond, then you'll have a hearing on June 9th.
So I only have one charge?
The only case that I have right now at initial appearance is that possession of a concealed firearm by a felon. That's the only case that I am addressing right now that I have. That's the 2020 CF 14898 AO.
So I can bond out today?
Right, because if the bond is endorsed, which means the surety that was on it wants off, but he still has a $5,000 bond, right? I mean, the bond's not revoked. I don't see anything in here where the judge revoked it, unless, am I overlooking something?
Your Honor, he's showing no bond on the jail website. I think that's probably where it's coming from, and it's probably because the bond is endorsed. So as long as we set bond at $5,000, it should all be fine, and he can bond out.
Okay, and you don't see anything where the bond was revoked by the court, right? There was no FTA or anything like that?
No, Your Honor, I don't see any of that.
It's just simply that the bonding company wants out?
That's what it looks like, Judge.
Okay. All right, then, yeah, I'll set the bond, I'll stay the bond, I'll reset it at 5,000. So if you're able to secure another bond, you may do so. but you have a court date already set for June 9th.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you bond out, just make sure you appear.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Please step forward and state your name.
Your Honor, Anthony Johnson refused.
All right, Mr. Johnson refused, so we'll reschedule him when he's able to participate. Please state your name.
Tavares Lampkin.
Tell me your last name again.
Lampkin.
Lampkin. Okay, Mr. Lampkin. All right. You do qualify for a public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. You've been charged with grand theft, third degree. All right, we've already read this one before. Okay, so, oh, you just got a lot going on. All right, so I'll stay the bond on the grand theft at $500, but I'm going to revoke your bond in the felony case that you're on bond on. Yes, sir.
McCall Jamar, bonded.
Bonded?
Yes.
Thank you.
Did we get appointed to Mr. Lampkin?
I thought I did. If I didn't,
remember, yeah.
if I didn't, he qualifies, I'll appoint the office of the public defender. Please state your name.
Monica Moran Merritt.
All right, Miss Merritt. All right, you've been charged with aggravated assault with a firearm. You do qualify for a public defender. Would you like me to appoint them to represent you?
Yes, ma'am, please.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. And so this is a BOP?
No, ma'am.
It was just a warrant case, Judge.
Now, these are capiases.
So,
I never was on probation, ma'am.
Yeah, so this is, she has two capiases. KPSI? What's the plural of that? See, is it two different ones?
I don't think they're not like failure to appear cases though. They were just when the information was filed, they issued one to arrest her, but it wasn't like she failed to appear for court or anything like that. Does that make sense?
I don't understand.
It was, so the state filed information for this warrant and then issued the capias to go pick her up later. It wasn't.
Oh, so it wasn't a failure to appear by a judge, it was because the state filed the charges?
Correct.
I gotcha.
A non-arrest case.
Okay. But then, so that's aggravated assault with the firearm. And then we have another charge of possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. All right, because those are capiases on the ag assault, I don't have a warrant. There's no narrative. Yeah, so I can't, I don't know about probable cause, I have no narrative on the ag assault, because those were all I have are the capias. But on the, drug charges, I will find probable cause on the drug charges, and I'll stay those bonds. That was 1,000 on count 1 and 100 on count 2. And on the ag assault, I would, I don't know any of the details. State, do you have any facts on the ag assault?
Yes, Your Honor, we do. Here. Do you want me to read the synopsis or the whole narrative?
Just give me a synopsis.
All right. So on April 16th, 2021, victim heard banging at the door. Victim answered the door and found defendant outside with defendant's daughter. Defendant told victim that she was going to F her up about her daughter. Defendant started walking away when victim called police. Victim walked to the parking lot and defendant turned back around while reaching for her side, where victim saw the butt of a gun. Defendant stated, "I'm gonna get you, B word." Victim positively ID defendant in photo lineup.
All right, the bond schedule on that one is $2,500. Do you want to talk to your client about it?
Yes, Your Honor. For the possession, there was $1,000.
Right.
That's fine, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll set bond in the aggravated assault with the firearm at $2,500. No contact with the victim. If you reside at that location, you may return one time in the presence of law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. On the possession of cocaine, bond is $1,000. Possession of drug paraphernalia, $100.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Oh, she qualified for PTR.
Judge, you want to do a bond or PTR for her?
Now we'll just do the bond. All right, you have another one?
Yeah, Your Honor. Tina Mitchell, mental health.
Tina Mitchell, I don't have her. We did her.
Did her? Okay.
Was that the prostitution one? Who we heard yelling? Yeah. Okay, please tell me your name.
Ricky Tyrone Neal Jr.
All right, Mr. Neal, you do qualify for a public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll do so. All right, sir, this is, you've been charged with petty theft, 2 priors, and it was an arrest warrant. All right, there is probable cause. And this one, the bond is set at $2,500. He does not qualify for PTR.
Your Honor, I've represented Mr. Neal in the past. He's indigent, homeless. He can't afford any monetary bond since it's a petty theft, 2 prior non-violent offense. We're asking for ROR.
All right, he's had a couple of FTAs before. Is he homeless? How are you going to stay in contact with him?
He's, Your Honor. He knows my office's number. He can call us. Right, sir? You can contact us. Do you have a phone now?
No.
Okay. You can use someone else's phone now. So he'll be able to contact us.
State. Bless you.
I haven't read the facts of the petty theft, Your Honor. I just want to make sure it's like.
Is it from a
nothing
grocery
violent.
store, some meat?
Oh, okay, so we would not object.
All right, we'll do ROR. Make sure you stay in contact with the Office of the Public Defender so you know your next court dates. All right, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, can I give him a card real quick? Oh, hang on.
Please step forward and tell me your name.
Juan Rivera.
All right, Mr. Rivera, you've been charged with petty theft, 2 prior convictions. You do qualify for a public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll do so. And it's a 2 prior, so it's a felony. They have it at 1,000. You want to talk to him?
You can afford that, Your Honor.
You what?
That's fine, that $1,000 is.
Okay, we'll stay it at 1,000.
It can be 500.
It'll be $100. Either way, it's $1,000.
Yeah, but sometimes the busman, they be more than that. So they did that to my mom one time.
Could we do $500, Your Honor?
We can do $500.
Because
You got 500. Love to, sir. Take that.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, please step forward and state your name.
Deborah Rogers.
All right, Ms. Rogers, you do qualify for a public defender. So would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll do so. You've been charged with driving while license revoked as an habitual offender, trafficking in meth, possession of heroin, and introduction of contraband into a county detention facility. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause. The trafficking in meth is 50,000.
Mm.
You know that? Did you want to be heard?
Yeah. She doesn't qualify for PTR, Your Honor. At this point, she's telling me she can only afford about a $5,000 bond for this. She did tell me also that she has some underlying health conditions as well that make her more susceptible to COVID-19. So for those reasons, we're asking for a $5,000 bond on that trafficking charge.
State.
Your Honor, whatever you deem appropriate, we would be okay with. She does have a pretty lengthy history with possession and trafficking. She has been arrested in trafficking and convicted multiple times for possession in Florida and out of Florida.
All right, on the driving while license revoked as an habitual traffic offender, I'm gonna set bond in the amount of $500. On the trafficking and meth, I'm gonna set bond in the amount of $5,000. The possession of heroin will be $500, and the introduction of contraband into a detention facility will be $500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Please step forward and state your name.
Justice Salmon.
Mr. Salmon, you didn't fill out the sheet. Did you want the public defender to represent you?
I didn't think it was that necessary. No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, let's see here. So this is an arrest warrant for grand theft, 3rd degree, and credit card theft. I don't have the, I don't have the facts. All I have is the warrant. So it was obviously issued by a judge.
Let me see if we have a judge.
But no, that's sufficient for finding a probable cause. All right, so the bonds were set, you do qualify for PTR. So I'll allow you to participate in the pretrial release program, or I'll stay the bonds. They're currently set at grand theft $500 and the credit card $150. So you can either bond out or you can participate in the pretrial release program.
What's the pre-trial release program?
Okay, did you want the public defender to represent you so he can explain everything to you?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm kind of confused on the whole thing. I just was trying to see what that was about real quick.
Counsel, would you talk to him as a friend of the court?
Of course. And there's bond set in pretrial release, Judge?
Right, you can either bond out or PTR.
Explain it to him, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. I do the pre-trial thing.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Follow the deputy out. All right, please step forward and state your name.
Dylan Uzma.
Mr. Uzma. Would you like the Office of the Public Defender to represent you in the possession of cannabis charge?
I'm going to hire a lawyer.
All right, you have a private attorney? All right, so, bond in that case was set at $1,000. I don't know, did you also receive a citation for driving while license suspended at the same time? I don't see it in here.
I wasn't driving. It says it in the affidavit.
Oh, you were the passenger, okay. Oh, yeah, I read this one. All right, you don't qualify for PTR. I'm going to stay the bond at $1,000. I do see that you're currently on bond for driving under the influence. However, you weren't driving in the case you were a passenger, so I'm not going to revoke the bond on your DUI case since you were just a passenger in the vehicle.
How much is the bond for?
It was $1,000.
And for the DUI?
No, for the cannabis case.
So I just have to bond out for the.
Yeah, you remain on bond in your DUI. I'm not revoking that one, and you can post bond on the cannabis case.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, Keaton Walton is in the hospital.
All right, it'll be Keaton Walton will be reset when he's able.
And Jose Whitecross is bonded.
Jose White Corey's bonded. Okay. Please state your name.
Rodney Cia Blunt.
Say it a little louder.
Rodney Cia Blunt.
All right, Miss Blunt. Oh, let's see here. You were picked up on a failure to appear, and the judge in that case did put a bond on it of $500, so I will stay that bond. Thank you, ma'am. Please step forward and tell me your name.
Robert Dixon.
Mr. Dixon. You qualify for public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Yes, please.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You were charged with leaving the scene of a crash with property damage. And bond is set in the amount of $500. And you do not qualify for PTR. So I'll stay that bond. Oh, yeah, it's not in here.
Who's this? Yeah. Gibson? Dixon?
You don't have it, you have an affidavit? What's the case number?
It's 20. 000.
Tell me again, 2020 MM.
000.
You have an affidavit? Oh, he's out on bond. Oh, okay. We didn't receive that one.
It says that case is closed. Oh, he's got competency issues. It's a competency here. Oh, it says he was found incompetent to proceed in that case, in the MM.
This is MM 2021-686.
Yeah.
See that. If that's the case, if the court could just take no action on that case, and we could ROR him on this new charge.
Any objection, State, if we ROR him on the leaving the scene?
Your Honor, which case did you say he was found incompetent?
2020 MM 686 AO.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I saw that I have, one of the cases he has is set for trial. But I'll leave it up to your discretion, Your Honor, for ROR.
All right, I'll ROR him on the leaving the scene of an accident. Oh, wait, that's not his name. That's not, that case isn't his case. Oh, you got me looking at the wrong case. That's not him.
I think it's 21 MM 686.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's set for trial.
Yeah, that 2020 wasn't him. 2021 MM, what is it? 68 what?
686 AO.
No, I'm not getting it. All right, 2021 MM.
686.
000.
Okay, that's a whole different situation. That's set for trial. It's a violation of PTR on a domestic violence case. It's already set for trial on June 9th. I'm not gonna take any action on the DV case. It's already set for trial. Just make sure you show up to court on the 9th. And then on the leaving the scene, I'll stay at 500.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, please step forward and state your name.
Santiago.
All right, Mr. Santiago, you qualify for a public defender. Would you like me to appoint him to represent you?
Yes.
All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. And this was, a failure to appear, and the judge in that case set bond in the amount of $500 on your failure to appear.
Yes.
So I will stay that bond amount. All right, thank you.
See the other case,
Nope.
provide false ID to Elliot.
All right. Fraud, giving false, okay, I'll stay the bond in that one. It's 500. Please state your name. You're one of the three crossing the street illegally. All right, ma'am, you qualify for a public defender. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you? All right, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. I have multiple cases here.
You have a total of 3. You have 2 out of county and 1 in county.
All right, and the fraud impersonating false ID given to law enforcement officer, I'll stay bond in the amount of $500. Then you have an out-of-county warrant on petty theft, 2nd degree, and that warrant has a bond. The judge in that case set it at $5,000. And then the third case is also the judge in that case set bond in the amount of $5,000 for petty theft, 2nd degree. Please state your name.
Sierra Mayfield.
All right, Ms. Nayfield. All right, this is an MM, okay. You do qualify for a public defender. I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. It's prostitution. How much time served? She was booked 6/4/11/30. That's 1 day? 2 days. That's 2 days. So to be, credit, 2 days, time served, court cost,
Your Honor, I also like to bring that she has the option to do the pretrial diversion program,
okay,
if she would like.
all right. You want to talk to her about that?
Well, Judge, is that withhold from the bench?
Yeah, it'll be a withhold, just make sure that's not the one with the big fine. Withhold, court costs, credit for time served.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is it? I got
You
an
can-
email.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you just go,
They just put this out a couple days ago,
Yeah.
Judge, so I have to pull the email up. wants to do the pretrial diversion program, Judge.
Okay.
So I guess we don't have a contract or anything here, so if we just reset this for status maybe, or I guess we have to ROR
Well,
her first.
let's, since she's gonna participate in the pretrial diversion program, is there any, she also qualifies for PTR, so I can release her PTR and that'll give her time to get with you and sign the contract?
That works, Judge.
All right, that's what we'll do then. I'll release you on PTR, and then you'll get with the Public Defender's Office and sign the contract for the pretrial diversion program. Do I have to order that, so you can just do it? Or will she have to go to the judge in the
I think it's
division?
best to just do it that way, Judge, just leave it. The division judge will probably handle that,
Okay,
so.
perfect.
You have a phone number from me, John?
Please step forward and tell me your name.
Jonathan Plasencia.
All right, Mr. Placencia, you were charged with petty theft. This is a misdemeanor. State, I would do, he was booked 6/4/1745, so that's 1 or 2 days. I give him credit for time served, no return to Universal Studios for 1 year.
Can we do the impulse control class?
Impulse control class within 90 days. Did you want the Public Defender's Office to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. So counsel, that would be credit for time served, court costs, cost of prosecution, no return to Universal Studios, completion of the impulse control class within 90 days, online or in person.
And then withhold.
Withhold. And sir, you have to
Yeah.
understand that petty theft is an enhanceable offense.
M2.
What that means is if you have 2 or more convictions for petty theft and you commit another petty theft, it can be charged as a felony. So just so you know.
May I approach the plea form, Judge?
You may. All right, Mr. Placencia, I'm holding up a plea agreement form. Did you have the opportunity to go over this form with your attorney? Did he answer all of your questions?
She did.
From where you're standing, is that your signature on the form? Are you under the influence today of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your thinking? Is anybody forcing you to enter into this plea agreement?
No.
Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, entering into this plea agreement will subject you to deportation? All right, on the charge of petty theft, how do you plead?
Consent.
Did you say no contest?
Yeah, but no contest.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'm going to withhold adjudication. I'm going to assess court costs and costs of prosecution. I'm going to require that you complete the impulse control class within 90 days of today. You may take that class online or in person. If you just do a search for court-ordered impulse control classes, you'll see a bunch of different vendors. You can take it from the cheapest one.
Doesn't matter which.
Doesn't matter which vendor. You need to complete the 4-hour course. There's multiple, there's 4, 8, 12, 16. I'm ordering you to complete the 4-hour impulse control class. Importantly, sir, when you complete that course, you're going to get a certificate of completion. The vendors do not file that with the clerk of the court. It's your responsibility to send in that document, either send it to your public defender or send it to the clerk of the court so that it gets in the court file that you completed your sentence. All right, I'm going to require that you not return to Universal Studios for 1 year from today. And with respect to the court costs and cost of prosecution, I'm going to give you 1 year to pay that.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Please step forward and tell me your name.
James Derek Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, you were charged with trespass on property after warning. And let's see, you were booked at 8 o'clock last night, so that's 1 day. All right, if you wanted to plea, if the state has no objection, it'll be a withhold of adjudication, credit for time served, court costs, cost of prosecution, 1 year to pay, no return.
Understood.
Want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Now, can I ask a question to you, Judge?
Well-
How do I get that trespass taken off? Where do I go to? The links stop by the office by itself? Because that is a very invalid, even in 2015 when they put it, it was put the wrong way. It's just been sticking. I haven't had no way to get it off. And I be using the bus to go to work. So whatever I was doing back then, they still holding it against me like I'm still doing it now, which is holding me from doing what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Those boundaries been crossed already. I really ain't doing none of that no more. But I do need to use the bus though. I just need to know how to get that off or who to talk to about it.
All right, if you want, if you resolve the case today, I won't have any more to do with your case. If you want, we can, I can release you ROR today, appoint the public defender, and you can go, this is assigned to Division 81, and you'll get
I know I'll take the time to serve, but I know I'm still gonna need to get it off.
well, no, let me finish. Let me finish. So if you go to the judge that's assigned to the case, you can talk to the judge about it, and they can try to find the old case where the original trespass was entered and explain to the judge, you know, you have to take the bus for work and you can't continue to be trespassed from Links because you need it for your
The
livelihood.
reason why that I was trespassed,
Right.
I'm not there no more doing none of that.
And you can explain that to the judge that's assigned the case, and maybe that judge can, look into it. Your public defender can talk to the state and go back to what happened. It says, I don't recognize this number in the write-up. I can't look up the case. I don't recognize it. It's a, Orange County Sheriff's number. That doesn't correspond to the numbers that we have. But, so if you want to do that, probably.
I'll take the time to serve.
Well,
I don't want to still have a court holding over my head.
I know, but
Anything could happen.
you need to have a case you need to have an ongoing case number in order for that judge to get to the bottom of your trespass.
Okay.
I'm sure, who's 81, do we know?
Judge McGinnis.
Okay, Judge McGinnis will probably keep the same offer State, would you agree to make that offer so we can get to the bottom of the original trespass?
The withhold and credit time served, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm not the ASA on the notes, however, I will write that, and let me see who the attorney on that case is.
So I don't think he's been trespassed from a court order. I think it's like the links issue.
So it wasn't,
A court judge isn't gonna help him. I think he's just gonna have to clear that with links. Yeah, so I don't think I don't think the court can really help him on that, honestly.
Yeah.
For this case, obviously, if we don't issue more trespass.
I just want to
Okay.
know, I need to go down to Link's office myself when I get out.
yeah, then, okay, so if it didn't emanate out of another criminal case, this is just something that happened at Lynx a long time ago when you maybe weren't behaving appropriately and now you need to get that lifted? Okay, all right, so that, you would have to work with Lynx on that directly then. Okay, then we'll go ahead and do the plead out then.
Go through the form, Judge.
You'll appoint the public defender on this case?
Yes.
He has 1 day credit time served, Your Honor?
Yes. I don't know, it was arrested after 8 o'clock at night. His time of arrest was 6/4/2021 at 20:52.
Ms. Thomas, does he have 2 days?
Is that 2 days? Okay. Well, it's 1 or 2 days, so we'll just say credit for time served.
Complete form, Judge.
You may. All right, Mr. Taylor, I'm holding up a plea agreement form. Did you have the opportunity to go over this form with your attorney? Did he answer all of your questions? From where you're standing, is that your signature on the form? Are you under the influence today of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your thinking? Is anyone forcing you to enter into this plea agreement?
No, ma'am.
You understand, sir, that if you're not a United States citizen, entering into this plea agreement will subject you to deportation? On the charge of trespass, did you want to plead no contest? I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'm going to withhold adjudication. I'm going to assess court costs and cost of prosecution. I'm going to give you 1 year to pay. And I'll allow you to return to the link station one time in order to address the trespass issue, but then it will remain in effect if you can't get it lifted.
All right.
All right, sir, good luck to you. All right, please state your name.
Elijah Tozy?
All right, sir, and it says here that you do not qualify for the public defender. You've been charged with resisting an officer without violence and disorderly intoxication. All right, State, if you had no objection, it would be a withhold on both counts, assessment of court costs, cost of prosecution, and credit for time served. He was arrested this morning, 1 day.
Moment, Your Honor.
And we could do, yeah, credit for time served.
I would have no objection, Your Honor.
You would?
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't, okay. Would you like to resolve your case in that manner today?
I think that's what, like a plead, right? I do a plead or something like that?
Yes, sir. If you wanted to enter into a plea today, it would be a withhold of adjudication on both counts, the assessment of court costs and cost of prosecution, which I give you time to pay, and credit for time served of 1 day.
Yes, I would like to.
All right, someone's going to hand you a plea agreement form. Please review the plea agreement, read it carefully, and let me know if you have any questions, and sign at the bottom.
I'll go over it with him as a friend of the court, Judge.
Thank you. You may. Thank you. All right, Mr. Tosi, I'm holding up a plea agreement form. Did you have any questions about this form?
No, ma'am.
From where you're standing, is that your signature on the form? Are you under the influence today of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your thinking? Is anyone forcing you to enter into this plea agreement today? Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, entering into this plea agreement would subject you to deportation? On the charge of resisting an officer without violence and disorderly intoxication, did you want to plead no contest?
No contest, yes, ma'am.
I'll accept your plea of no contest on both counts. On both counts, I'm going to withhold adjudication. I'm going to give you credit for time served of 1 day on each count. I'm going to assess court costs, cost of prosecution, and I'm going to give you 1 year to get that paid off. All right, thank you, sir. Please follow the officer.
Your Honor, Krishida Wilkes refused.
All right, it'll be reset whenever she wants to participate. May I have your name, please, sir?
Wadney Armand. Wadney.
Okay, Mr. Armand.
Your Honor, this was reset from yesterday. I think the
Okay.
state's already made a plea offer, so I went through the plea form with him already, so it's ready to go.
Okay,
If the court wants to take that. May I approach the plea form?
yes. All right, Mr. Armand, I'm holding up a plea agreement form. Do you have the opportunity to go over this form with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
From where you're standing, is that your signature on the form?
Yes.
Are you under the influence today of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your thinking?
No.
Is anybody forcing you to enter into this plea agreement? Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, entering into this plea agreement will subject you to deportation? You understand that? Did he say yes?
He said yes, Judge.
Okay. On the charge of trespass in an occupied structure, did you want to plead no contest?
Yes, I plead no contest.
All right, sir, I'm going to accept your plea of no contest. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the offense. I'm going to give you credit for time served. I'm going to assess court costs and cost of prosecution. Is the defendant, is he homeless?
He is, Your Honor.
All right, we'll reduce it to a civil judgment.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please follow the officer. Please state your name.
Justin Black.
Mr. Black. Okay, this is a violation of community control. All right, so the judge assigned to your case has said that there is no bond on your violation of community control. So I am not going to set a bond. And because there's no bond on that violation of community control, I will not revoke the bond on his driving while license suspended.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Please step forward and state your name.
Catherine Rahill.
All right, Ms. Rahill. And this is, okay, a violation of probation, and the judge assigned to your case has stated that there is no bond, so I will not be setting a bond, and, was a public defender already appointed?
Not yet.
Okay, would you do qualify, would you like me to appoint the office of the public defender?
Yes, Your Honor, I did. I had, asked one to be appointed to me.
Okay, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. It is a VOP. Was the PD not representing you below?
I'm sorry?
It's a violation of probation. Did you have a public defender on the underlying charges?
Not as of yet, no.
Oh, this is a new violation? I thought that it was, okay. Well, I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you on this new violation.
Okay.
I'm only, okay, I thought it was the same. I thought it was just a repeat. Okay. Let's see here. We got Judge Young did it on October 26, 2020. October 26, 2020. Are these two different cases? Okay, so it's, I just saw Judge Young had signed both of them, so it was, but he put no bond on either case, so I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in the violations of probations in both of those cases.
Okay.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Your Honor, Diamond Brunson, mental health.
You did what?
He's mental health.
Okay, it'll be rescheduled for when he's able to participate.
There we go.
All right, that's it. We're off the record.